Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Good Work Live. I am your humble host, Dave, and for the next 15 to 20 minutes, we will talk about things that are good and valuable, and hopefully things that are challenging in a really good way. Before I get any further, I don't know if any of you watch from the entire beginning to the entire end. I hope you do. But I thought today I would mention out at the beginning, we have adopted a family for Christmas, a family that wasn't going to be able to afford a Christmas for themselves or the 7 children that they take care of this year. But we've gone ahead and said, you know what, we're going to get together as the Good Work community. We're going to provide Christmas for y'all. So for the past week and a half, we have been asking you, our community members, to chip in what you can and help provide some donations for this Christmas effort that we're putting forth. It's been going very well. We even had a donor who wants to remain anonymous offer to match any donations up to $1,000. So we're going to continue to collect donations until this Sunday, the 17th. On the 17th, we are going to go out and buy the gifts and wrap them and deliver them early next week. So this is the time to give if you can. We still would like to raise another $500 if possible. So you can hit the link on the website support. So it's thegoodwork.org/support, and you can donate there and tag it as Angel Tree Project, and we will know that that is specifically for this effort. So thanks for doing that. Tonight is the last Good Work Live of 2017. Tomorrow night will be the last Thursday night group of 2017. Last night was the last Tuesday night, the last Pop Culture Happy Hour of 2017. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming along on this journey with us as we learn how to offer you something meaningful in your life. As we assume you're like us and you're asking questions about what's your ultimate purpose in life and how do you live more compassionately on a galactic scale and a very micro scale. And this project has always been about how do we help you do that best? How do we help you live your best life? And we really think 2018 is going to be special. So if you're still in for it, we would love for you to join us on the ride. So thank you for that. Okay. A quick, brief, I'm going to try to make a brief story tonight. It's a story I heard, surprise, surprise, on a podcast. And sometimes I hear a story on a podcast and it just, it sticks. There's something about storytelling that I think is a deeply human thing where we love hearing stories and we remember ones that stick to us. Anyways, this story is about an artist in Los Angeles by the name of Richard Ankrum. And Richard lived right in the heart of LA, near the 110 freeway. He moved there in 2000, 2001, something like that. But what happened for him is that he would drive on the freeway and he wouldn't take the right turnoff to go where he needs to go, and be very frustrating to him. And it wasn't because he felt like he was doing something wrong. He felt as though the signs on the road weren't distinct enough, or they didn't give enough information, or they didn't do their job. Now, the part of the state of California that puts road signs up is called Caltrans. And they regulate all the road signs, and they decide what goes where and what doesn't go. And they have a budget and a bureaucracy, and they're just like any other governmental organization, right? Well, it frustrated Richard just to no end. And so for 10 years, he saw these places where he felt Caltrans wasn't addressing something that could help ease traffic, ease stress, the stress that drivers had, that could help people drive better. have you ever felt like for 10 years you see something happening and you don't feel like you have any power to do anything about it? Something that like would be a small tweak that would change the trajectory of someone's life, or that you saw something in yourself and you said, if only I'd just stop or begin or whatever this, and you kind of live with it. It's kind of like the proverbial burr in the saddle, or the rock in the bottom of your shoe. Like, it's there, and a lot of times you don't end up taking it out right away, but the more you don't do that, the more irritating and upset and frustrated you get. Anyways, 2011 comes around, and Richard Ankrum starts to talk to some of his friends about a plan that he has. What he wanted for all those years was a simple sign, a simple road sign that Caltrans already made. It was that blue and red and white sign that said, this is Interstate 5. He just wanted an Interstate 5 sign on the highway sign to help drivers know where to go off to Interstate 5. So he tried communicating with Caltrans to no avail, multiple times. So he gets with his friends and he says, you know what? We're going to do something about this. I'm an artist. I'm a pretty talented guy, he says. I'm going to make an Interstate 5 sign, and I'm going to put it up myself. I'm going to make it look real good, make it look not shoddy. I'm going to make it look exactly like an Interstate 5 sign that are on other parts of the roads, and I'm going to put it up myself. And so he began the process of what he would call a guerrilla public service, where he was going to go and do this without permit, without license, without the organization, the governmental entity over road signs, giving him permission to do so. So he spent months studying the signs on the freeway, looking at their wear and tear, looking at how they were placed. He wanted to create the most authentic sign and place it in the way that fit all of the regulations that Caltrans had set for highway signs. So he did everything from copying the height and thickness of Interstate 5 signs to matching paint colors to even creating a rust/dusty finish that he would put over the sign to make it look like it had been smogged over and it was always supposed to be there. It was his goal, essentially, to put the sign up and the next day for no one to have distinctly noticed that a new sign was up. It was supposed to look like it had always been there. So anyways, the night before the night, he puts the sign up. He creates it, he makes it, ages it. The night before, below the bridge where the sign is, where he'd stick it, he stuck the sign and some ladders and all that. He gets up, has his next day. That night, he invites his friends out. As the traffic slows down, gets dark, he begins to go over to this place where he's going to put this sign up, and his friends videotape it. And if I remember, I will actually link the video after this, but it shows the sign, where it was, where it goes, where it went. He put the sign up. He put it up, which is pretty amazing, with no one saying you can, no permission, no cops. It just all went down. He slapped a sign on the side of his truck. He put an orange safety vest on and a white helmet, and no one stopped or questioned him while he put it up. Now, if you put a new sign up in the middle of LA on a freeway, even in the middle of the night, how long do you think it's going to be before someone notices? 9 months. For 9 months, that road sign looked so good, fit so perfectly, was so naturally helpful that no one noticed. And it probably would have been noticed, gone unnoticed. I'll edit that because it's Facebook Live, right? It probably would have gone unnoticed longer had not one of Richard's friends let it slip. It wasn't that Caltrans picked up on it or a cop or a interested motorist. It was friends who he had told this secret to, who eventually let it slip to someone, who let it slip to someone, who let it slip to someone in Caltrans. Anyway, I go into further details, but I'll say this. Caltrans went to the sign, inspected it, and decided to leave it there. Now, in the interviews in TV, they said, we think he did brilliant work, but we asked him not to do it again. But we will offer him a job in sign making if he wants, which was tongue-in-cheek, kind of a joke. But that sign stayed up there for 7 years. It just went down this year. So I love that story. I love this idea of this guy seeing something where there's a need and seeing something that needs to be addressed. And it just kind of eats at him. Like everything, like everyone rather experiences. We all see that thing, just like a little change would do a world good, right? And at some point along that journey of being frustrated, he said, I've got to do something about it. And he went through proper channels, and he went through the request process, and he was denied. And yet he still felt like change would do a greater good. So he did not wait for anyone else's permission. He gave himself permission, and he went and did a thing. And it was a good thing. It was so good that it became a part of the ecosystem that he was trying to benefit. So why do I like that story? The past few weeks we've talked about Advent, and Advent is a concept of a season of waiting, of preparing. For the Christian church, it's waiting on Jesus. It's making ourselves ready. It's cleaning ourselves up from selfishness or just whatever would make us a self-destructive person or destructive to other people. But there's this other element that I don't want it to come across as you sit and you just wait. Because you and I see things in this world that have got to be addressed. We've seen this family with 7 kids, and it aggravated us the moment we heard it, that there would be this household, and this household where there's one income supporting 8 other human beings. And because of that, they wouldn't be having Christmas. Now, we could have let that sit in our craw. This could have let it fester, be a rock in our boot. We could have gone around asking bigger organizations for help. Bigger organizations who have money, we could have probably asked them for money. But we didn't. We gave ourselves permission to say, no, we're going to take that on. We're going to take that on because it doesn't need to happen in our world. I think we feel like we need permission more often than we actually do to do anything. I think we feel like that permission is sometimes some sort of approval, or this, I'll have your back if you fail. I mean, that's really what permission is about, is if this doesn't work out, you have a safety net underneath you, right? You have my permission. I will be there. You have my okay. You're not the only one responsible. Richard Atcomb makes this sign, and there's no one else responsible. I mean, he tells his friends, and they kind of keep a secret for a little bit, but he gives them permission. There's no safety net, literally, under the bridge where he was going to put the sign up, or for whatever consequences there were. But he felt like it was a big enough good that could come out of it that the risk was worth it. He gave himself permission to do the thing. So I guess my question is this: is if you practice Advent any time in your life, whether it's December 1st through 24th or May 3rd through 12th, or whatever, if you go through times of preparation or even not, like, do you need permission in your life to do things that you know are risky but are worth the risk? So the tradition, the spiritual tradition I grew up in, just the big concept of it, Christianity in its rawest form, was really about rebellion. It was about saying we don't have power over one another as human beings. Rather, we see each other as equals, therefore making all of us more valuable and powerful and worthwhile. It's definitely been co-opted. Okay, I'm the first to say that, but it's not the first time you've thought that. But I still ride that particular framework, philosophy of the world, because I believe in its raw roots. The idea that we have to allow ourselves to have permission to do the things that allow us to live our most full life. So my hope for you is, my last kind of live video for this year is that you find a place where you don't need other people's permission to do the important work of your life. That you don't need permission from anyone but yourself to live genuinely and authentically. There will be difficulties in giving permission. There will be consequences. But they're the kind of consequences that I think you would rather have. The other side of it is a game where you're waiting and you're chasing after approval and permission, and where things that you need to do to make this world better don't end up happening. Okay, that's all I've got. So I don't have a name for this office yet. I usually always name, whenever I move, I rename my office, but this is just the office right now. The last place was the lab. The time before that, I was in the library. Anyways, that doesn't mean anything. Thank you for watching, friends. Means the world to me. If there are topics you'd like for me to do on Wednesday nights, shoot me a message, put a comment below, or just say hi, or you can't stand this and you want me to do something else on Wednesday nights. I hope you have a brilliant Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic New Year. And if I don't see you between now and then, take care, give yourself permission, and get out there and do the good work. That is what we're here for. Okay? All right, homies. I am going to say goodbye.